What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and wow, it's been a quite eventful past few hours. The reason I say this is because I have people that I know who were affected by these outages that happened in LA, specifically the San Fernando Valley. Now, it affected 12,000 people. Now, according to what I understand, they didn't have electricity at all from early in the morning, 6 7 a.m. all the way until 10:30 11 p.m. at night. Now, what happened? They couldn't use any of their devices. They couldn't charge it. They're literally like left with nothing, basically. And it was a an interesting day for them because they literally they felt helpless without the electricity. And this is something that I've been talking about for a very long time because we've seen the narrative unfold right before our own eyes. And it makes it even, not that I didn't believe it or anything, because I really do think that all this is going to happen. And that's why I talk about it, because you see the writing on the wall. And when you see the writing on the wall, you move towards uh, trying to position yourself in a place where you're not quite as affected, or you're not, you don't get caught off guard by it. And so having someone I know being affected by this, however small it is, it's small in comparison, but it puts things into perspective, and that's for sure. Now, I thought that'd be a good story to share with you guys to show how people are getting glimpses of this, and they're in a sense getting primed. Now, this was on Yahoo Finance, and it said the worst is yet to come for cyber attacks. Okay, and this was June 2nd, and it says, and it goes on, and I'm not going to read it so you can breathe a sigh of relief, but it says, without new regulations, cyber attacks will just get more disruptive. So they're literally setting the tone to tell you that if we don't, conform to a new infrastructure, to new regulation, this is just going to keep on happening. And the attacks are going to grow in volume, and people are going to be affected more and more. We see what cyber attacks do. It affects the real physical world. It's not something just on cyberspace. No, we see what it did when to the Colonial Pipeline. The whole East Coast was scrambling for gasoline. Now we're about to see the effects of this on JBS, the meat industry, meat packaging industry. And it's interesting because Gator Trader said they're priming you, and it says here, this article is JBS cyber attack a dry run. And it's funny because, and you can go ahead and read this article if you'd like, but we're gonna go ahead and go over here, transition to, is this a dry run for the big event that's coming? Okay, and something I'm saying, the reason I'm saying this is because countries that hear from Gold Telegraph that don't decide to introduce digital versions of their currencies or CBDCs may face threats to their financial system and monetary autonomy. And what that means is if your critical infrastructure is not up to date, you will be hacked. And it will be a very hard time for all your citizens. So this is no longer just something that we can just dismiss. No, I mean, I tweeted this. I said, there's pressure if you don't conform to the new digital age, and you run the risk of cyber attacks. I think Klaus Schwab once talked about a comprehensive cyber attack. We should probably just dismiss that notion. Obviously, that was just sarcasm, but it's playing out real time right before our eyes. And XRP Darren tweeted this. He said, a few weeks ago, the majority of people had no clue what a ransomware attack is. Now it's on everyone's mind. The average Joe, and let me add into that, in the last 2 weeks, we've seen the Colonial Pipeline and now this meat industry. So if you don't think this is going to be a much bigger deal, I think again. Now he says, now it's on everyone's mind. The average Joe is going to applaud like a seal when they implement strict KYC/AML laws in order to catch the the big bad hackers. Sorry, I can't even speak. But yeah, people are gonna applaud and say, "Oh, this is great. Let's do it." Just like sheep following along. And on this channel, we talk about the things that are hard to talk about, and I say it openly. It's better to be realistic about the situation and know and prepare yourself beforehand, and financially as well as for you and your family for safety. But yeah, people are gonna applaud, like he said, that strict laws, and it's gonna affect the investors like us who um, see the good in things. But it's how it's gonna go. It's always problem, reaction, solution. That's the way it works. Now I want to transition here to Peter Schiff, talking about the economy. We obviously know that the state of the economy is not in good shape. You can't just print trillions of dollars, or inject all this money and not expect something to happen. There's consequences. And now he says he's comparing the U.S. economy to the stock AMC. He said, despite terrible fundamentals, buyers ignore the reality of what the company is and instead focus on what it once was or what they fantasize it may become. The dollar is a meme currency. It won't end well for AMC or dollar bag holders. Now, that's his opinion, and I'm stating that because I want to make the point that the U.S. economy is in a sense comparable to what the AMC stock is, and take it as you will. Now, on this channel, we talk about fundamentals and why it's important and why we're invested into digital assets like XRP or XLM because of their use case. Now, yeah, the price may be suppressed for whatever reason, and people get frustrated with that. But like Warren Buffett says, that the money goes from the impatient to the patient. And now listen to what this guy has to say clearly. And if if you have any doubt about XRP, I would strongly recommend to keep watching videos, because when you put the dots, connect the dots on a macro level, don't miss the forest from the trees now. But the details are important too. But when you see it all together, you notice how big this is. Something that the eyes can't even see. So watch this video.
Folks, since I published my article about Bitcoin already exists and it's doing it all already. It is the federated global. Well, no. First of all, it's not federated. Second of all, despite the descriptions of it, Bitcoin is not actually decentralized. There's a very, very, very small number of individuals, fewer than 10, who personally control a significant portion of the Bitcoin infrastructure. So it's not decentralized, even though it started out that way. There's been consolidation. And finally, I personally speak to dozens of central bank officials and finance ministry officials, and they don't trust Bitcoin. And more importantly, they're not going to give over their ability to modulate the wild swings in their economy to Bitcoin. Folks, since I published my
and you can go ahead and check out more about him. But thought that was an interesting little clip there. Okay, now this is all to say that you got to prepare for a major cyber attack, like Klaus Schwab says. They let you know beforehand, and it's up to you to prepare. And on this channel, we're helping you prepare because we don't want to get caught off guard. Hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe, comment below. What are your thoughts? As always, I like hearing from you. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.